So the Jewish people endured generations of enslavement. And then the miracles began. The plagues. And then the finale of the plagues, Makas Bechoros, the death of all the firstborn. Paro surrenders, throws them out. And they're on their way. And then again pursued by the Egyptians, and the sea splits. They witnessed, they experienced miracles like nobody else did, ever. What was this all for? What was its purpose? So Moshe Rabbeinu was told this at the burning bush. When you come out of Egypt, you will serve me at this mountain, referring to Mount Sinai. The purpose of the entire Egyptian experience, the years of enslavement, of dehumanization, and then the purpose of all the miracles was to lead up to the revelation at Sinai. But no, Hashem sends Moshe Rabbeinu to ask the Jews, do you accept it or not? What if they would have said no? What if they would have said no? Why was there a need for Kabbalah's HaTorah, for acceptance of it? And Moshe Rabbeinu has to come and encourage them to say yes. And Hashem gives him his script, a very precise one. Rashi says, Lo pochos v'lo yoser, not less, not more. And what's he telling them? You're going to be segula mikol amin. Mamleches kohanim v'goy kadosh. We'll be a special people, a holy people. You see, you can't force people into being special. That's not what it's about. You can, at gunpoint, force people to do things. But it's their choice to become an elevated nation. Judaism is full of commandments. 613, Rambam goes through the details of what qualifies as one of the 613. There are millions of laws. They are either subcategories or for one reason or another technically don't count as one of the 613. There are millions of laws, Torah laws, rabbinical laws. It was just a matter of law. We could have just been commanded, you got to do this. The purpose of Torah is to change us. It transformed us. We became a different people. That can only happen if there's a buy-in, if you want to become a better person. This is so important for us. Because as you start swimming in the sea of halacha, when you get to understand the importance of every last detail, this stuff is serious. You may attain some high level of observance. But you've got to make an effort to really become a greater person. Jews are mamleches kohanim v'goy kadosh. We're a different kind of people. Morality is not just a technicality. Why does the Jew live the way he does? Only because there are rules? On the contrary, the rules come and define for us a higher lifestyle. It's got to be clear that you're growing as a person. It's interesting. One of the 613, according to Rambam, is the mitzvah of emulating Hashem, being godlike, which the Rambam defines as tikkun hamidos, perfecting your character. It's one of the 613 commandments. It is a Torah commandment. This is not extra credit. This is not something to be expected of the clergy. This is a commandment incumbent on every single Jew. You study lots of halacha. You can spend the money and get the highest quality tefillin and wrap them around your arm and put them on your head. If you forget that commandment of being godlike, you're probably not involved in a process of becoming a better person. You're viewing fulfillment of commandments as a technical obligation, or perhaps even tradition. It's not tradition, it's not culture. And it's also not just technical. It's becoming greater. Rambam actually writes that there's an element of character perfection in every mitzvah. In terms of the negative commandments, certainly. There's so many different forms of self-control. There's got to be something that's so dear to you that the Torah is prohibiting. Every personality has its own stuff. There's probably something that just goes against your instincts. That's basic. Self-control is generic. There's so much more. But these are not just fringe benefits. This is really the framework for all of Torah. I often speak about the fact that the deterrents in Torah are quite poor. The penalties for some of the most severe crimes are light, and even capital punishment, while it sounds terrible, is rarely carried out. It is the obligation of the Beis Din to acquit. Find some way to acquit this guy. If the reason a Jew doesn't steal is because he's afraid of getting caught, then we have failed. The Jew doesn't steal because it's wrong. Because someone else's possession is sacred. It's wrong. Torah teaches us it's wrong. Make sure you got this. Sure, there are technicalities. Of course, it's so full of detail. Creator of heaven and earth, who created a world full of precision, certainly created souls filled with precision. There's meaning to every detail, even if we don't understand them yet. But you got to understand the system. The system, the goal. It's the transformation of the human being. It's not just technicalities, certainly not culture, not just tradition. It's becoming an elevated human being. Yes, that was the goal of the whole Egyptian experience. To make us into greater people. We experience what no one else ever did. To put us in a different place, to give us a different clarity. We learned in Egypt the priorities in life, the enslavement. Yes, we were transformed. Realizing your Judaism is to see that you're elevated. The reason we don't speak Lashon Hara is not because you're not allowed to. Because you're going to burn if you speak Lashon Hara. You will. But that's not why. That's not why. It's beneath us. It's beneath us. So yes, when the pasuk says Kedoshim to you, and the pasuk says Vasisa Hayosher Vatov, says Ramban, If you go by the letter of the law, that may not be enough. You got to get the message. In terms of your own character, in terms of the way you deal with your neighbors, living by the letter of the law could be awful. You got to get past that because you're a bigger person. So we said yes, and we were transformed. And if you want to live up to that title of being Jewish, you got to be bigger. You got to be bigger. You got to be greater. Make sure you're not just observant. We are Mamleches Kohanim V'Goy Kadosh. We're a special people. We're not just observant. We're elevated. We're bigger. It's got to be your goal. If you do lots of mitzvahs but neglect your character, you miss the point. Be big. Be what the pasuk calls Yisrael asher b'chol yispar, the Jew that Hashem could be proud of. Yes, we are to be a light unto the nations because what we do so many religious acts. Because of the quality of person every Jew is. Because of the values the nation stands for. We're meant to be a light unto the nations in our greatness. So be Jewish and be great. Learn to observe not only as a technocrat, but far more as someone bigger, elevated, greater. Let's all be big, because that's what it means to be a Jew.